Right, Ledgers, good evening, everybody. How are you all? Can we have a quick audio and visual check? Can you see the Prime XBT website? And can everybody hear me? And once we got that sorted, I'm going to have a sip of San Pellegrino and start. You gotta put, see, the key is put ice in a cup, squeeze a bit of lemon in, a lot of lemon actually, hold. How is everybody? You all good? Okay, let's get the disclaimer out of the way. So today we've got David Bell. David Bell's probably the Grim Reaper right now. He's taken over. Every time I post David Bell, I did this tweet right now. Look at that. The tick. He did it yesterday as well. You see the tweet yesterday? I know what it is. We did the tweet here yesterday. As soon as this, it drops towards there. Right, to KSR, you want to get out. Then I did a reminder today. This is all David Bell's fault. So if market tanks, your bags go to zero, blame David Bell. Okay? Right, let's get the disclaimer out of the way. So welcome back to Bitcoin for Ledger's weekly live stream. Before we start, I want to say thanks to our partner, Prime XBT, for making this all happen. So they sponsor the stream. So to show appreciation, use the link in the description. And once you register in the settings thing, play around with it, enter the promo code TraderSZ, and then make a deposit. You can make get up to $7,000 on your trading deposit, bonus, whatever. Okay, and as always, nothing in this video stream constitutes financial advice. You know, seek the help of a financial professional before embarking with your capital. For all education purposes only. But yeah, these are the facts. Anyways, let's get cracking. So, what's going on? So we spoke about the Bitcoin plans from last week. So I'm only going to do Bitcoin Ethereum. We have a separate alt stream this week later on. So we have two now. We have one Bitcoin and Ethereum only. Maybe discuss a bit of ES. This Prime XBT does have other products. FX. You can trade the SPX. You can trade a lot of markets. And then the other exchange, we use purely for alts. Okay. So alt streaming either Wednesday or Thursday, whatever come before. Okay, so let's start. Before I do, I need to take a sip of water. You already know my stop loss on Crow. I've done that. It either stops me or hits my target. There's no in between for me. Okay? Sometimes certain trades take time. Okay, there's a reason why I have a stop loss there. To cater for pullbacks. Okay? Otherwise, I would have had a tight stop loss and cut it. So, let's go on. What's going on in Bitcoin? So let's start with a clean chart. Okay? And we get back into the levels I mentioned. I mean, the main key level, okay, it still remains this. And nothing much has changed. And from the last stream, it's been in a range-bound environment, right? And I've given my plans for the swing trade, where the invalidation would be and where to cut it, if you've been watching my streams. And the trend continuation plays in Thursdays. Okay? So, this 31.3k level remains the key. As long as we stay below here, sorry, excuse me, I will look to sell rallies, given the triggers. If it smashes back above here, then I'll look to start looking for longs. Nothing's really changed, okay? So let's just look at a clean chart. A clean chart perspective. See what's going on with the market. So on the yearly, how we're looking shit on the yearly. We have taken up previous year's low, okay? I've got another chart as well. I've got this chart, which I've drawn beforehand, where I've marked out last year's high, last year's low. I'll be right around there right now, okay? So we'll come back to this in a second, but let's just go deal with this in a second. So we're in the yearly. Nothing much has happened. Let's go to the quarterly. And the quarterly is still looking heavy. So what we want to be doing is, okay, is the mic clear? Is the mic a bit too much? Put your volumes lower. Am I clear? Can everybody hear me okay? Just making sure. So I think a few of you might have issues. I'm trying my best. I don't know what I've done with the settings. It should be okay. Is it okay? I'm sorry, CK, for I'm really shit at these settings, okay? Spare with it if you can. We've got this low here. It's marking at quarterly levels. I just want to see where we're at, okay? This could be used as a long target. And so let's mark that in black. So the black levels are going to be the higher time frame levels. Thank you. And then we're going to use, we got this. I'm going to go with the conservative low, that low there, okay? Which comes in around 30,100. Now, it's a different exchange. So there's about 20, there's always differences with exchanges, okay? So but more or less lies around the same levels. So on the monthly, So we got that. Maybe I can refine it to this. Okay, there, that low there. That's the initial low, right? Right there, bang on. Nothing's bullish about this just yet, until proven otherwise. Yes, we can guess a low. Many have guessed lows and got fucked right up the arse without loop. Do you want to be one of those? It's up to you. I mean, if you're into that, carry on. There's no problem with that. I have nothing against people like that. You know, each to their own. Okay. It's not my kind of thing, but you know, each has their own fetish. It is what it is. Okay, so we're dealing with in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now that we've had more data unfold after weeks of consolidation, well, a couple of weeks of consolidation, we can now mark out a previous week's range now to work with it. Okay, and that's why I use last week's range. If I look at this, it's a flat candle, because on some exchange this is not a flat candle. Let me look at this. So last week's high comes in at, it's not exactly flat by 0.89 and 0.9. The difference between the high and the open last week. Okay, that's fine. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna map out last week's high, last week's low, and last week's mid range, and we're gonna trade within that. We actually did that last time. If you look at these levels, these are exactly the same things. Okay, this was the Monday's high, which is last week's high, and the Monday's low. Okay, and we're right back between that. That same trigger is actually given right now. I mean, I think David Bell, the announcement David Bell's coming on stream sort of triggered it, as you know. Look at that sell off there. I'm only joking. Okay, so let's do that right now. So we're going to operate now last week's range, last week's high. So there's nothing much for me to add, okay? If I don't go over macro every time, it just means, you know what? Watch the last week's stream. That's what it means. Why waste time? If I've already done listen, jokes aside, I will switch if I have to switch, okay? Last week, I did take some longs. And last Friday, I took a long and I cut it straight as well. So this mid-range comes in line with here, 29,991.69. So I'm going to make these levels drawn in. 29,991. 29,991.69. Got that there. Which lines perfect with the KSR level which we're on right now. Okay. And we're going to map out the other ones. So we've got this here, 29. And we are going to mark at the midpoints of those as well. 29, 323.08. Okay, just bear with me while I do this. I'm doing this from scratch, okay? So hopefully, my aim is each session is not just to say this is what I'm buying, this is what I'm selling. Some sort of education as well with it. So you can learn yourself. So if you've been watching me long enough, you should actually know my style by now. My style does not change. If you've been watching me long enough, you should know my style never changes. Have I not been doing this same consistent things week in, week out? I think I have. 36660.29. Okay, just get the levels ready and we're done. Okay, now we've got levels to navigate within. Now watch this. Go to the daily. Look at this pinpoint precision of the levels. Okay, I mean, you can't fuck with this, can you? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so hopefully, if anything you take from these sessions is my style of trading. Okay? I don't give a fuck. People say there is no alpha to be fucking ruined. Nothing is ruined. If you're able to evolve with the markets, these levels are the same. I've been doing this for God knows for years now. Okay, for a couple of years now. This stream. Has it changed? No, the same shit each time. So I've got a clear basis as to where I'm going to go long and where I'm going to go short. Okay, now technically this is a long area. Am I going to take it? No. Based on I don't feel like taking it. It doesn't seem right to me. But I'm going to map out my scenario as to where I would feel more comfortable. Now, if we look at this chart, this is where we're navigating with it. Okay, this is the range. What I need to know is this is where I'm navigating within, and if it gets above a certain level, I'm going to get very bullish. So if I look at this chart, 31,100 is the level. Okay, so where does that come in? So let me draw that in, so I don't have to go back to the old chart. It's these daily levels. So let's see where it comes in. You know, that's the shitty thing I hate about some of these exchanges is the difference in data feed you get. See, it's a very, very different. If I was to draw this, I want to see where this comes in. 1 second. I use BitMEX for data feed all the time. I have my reasons. It just seems to work well with my range levels. So I want to do that as dashed line. Okay. There. Now, I'm going to get straight to the point. Okay. So, I'm not comfortable long in here. Okay. Even though technically it is valid. Okay, it is technically valid. Something just feels off to me, and if I miss it, I miss it because I'm gonna get for the next long. So what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna navigate because we're still within a range. If you look at this, has anything changed? Would you all agree? We're just in a range. Would everybody agree with that? We are just range bound. We're not really trending right now. The trending move was done. We're going to range. So what happens in the market is a trend up or down, consolidation. That was a McLaren. That was a Pista 488 Ferrari. Yes, I'll make more videos soon of that. The consolidation, trend, consolidation, trend, trend, consolidation, trend, consolidation. Okay, so where would we start trending? If we're bearish, okay, my bearishwoodness continuation will be below this low here. Okay, and long wise, the breakout play for the long wise would be above here. Okay, till then we're dealing within this range. Now let's delete this, don't need it, and play level to level. Now in this region I'm taking it easy now. I mean, I can find both cases. I'm not comfortable here. Okay, so I don't really want to navigate deal within this range. But what I am going to do is I'm going to mark a clear breakout plan. Okay, for yes, I do play, most of my trades are actually breakouts. People take the piss out of breakout traders. 90% of my trading is breakout trading. It works for me, and whoever says otherwise, go fuck yourself. Simple as that. So what we're going to do is the easy piece scenario, and I am going to mark out if those that want to take along where the invalidation would be, but this will be an entry trigger based on invalidation as well. Is if it breaks above here and then holds, this time around it's not a punch up on rejection like this. Okay, then that's a long towards here, which is this consolidation that initiated the move. Now could this be the top? I don't know. I don't give a fuck either. But it's a target for me. I'm gonna take some off. My stops will go break even. If it wants to break out, it breaks out. If it doesn't, go fuck itself. That's my target. Main target. If it starts rejecting, I'm gonna close it. Okay? And then I'm gonna wait for the breakup plan. Now, where are the targets for the breakup plan? I like to map out where it's gonna go before it gets there. Because I'm not gonna be pissing in the wind. So I'm aiming for this target here, this region here. Mark out a high here. That's a swing high. This is a pink color here. It doesn't sit well with me. Okay, there. And then it's going to be this consolidation here. Then when David comes, David would probably cause the sell-off again. Okay, and all these plans will be ruined. So my separate play will be if it rejects here, I'm gonna start taking profit. And so say if it does this, okay, it doesn't mean I'm gonna short. I don't know what's gonna be. I'm gonna play my level to levels. From there towards there, my target, secondary targets would be last week's high. Okay, but that's my main target. If it then breaks up above here and then comes back below, well, that becomes a deviation now. We are still hitting that 31.1k resistance area, macro resistance. Breaks below here. That will probably be a trend line break as well by then. Okay, there is where I look to short. Play back towards the mid range. If it comes into here, starts bouncing, cut it. It's done. Invalidation. Comes into here, first target gets hit, stops move to break even. I'm taking profit. Okay, if it bounces, and then if it then resumes below here, but back below mid range, what happens? Sell off below mid range, big sell off. Below mid range, sell off. Repeat. Same thing again. And I'll target towards here as first target. Maybe aim the top of this, be more conservative. And the second targets, look at these lovely, clean, juicy lows for the taking. Does that make sense? Stop asking me about other coins. It's only Bitcoin, Ethereum. Alts are going to be in the other stream. I'm not going to cover you any alts. So if you're here for alts, you're in the wrong place. Bitcoin, Ethereum only. Okay? So, from there, target 1, target 2, and I'm done. Then, if it comes into here, most likely we probably will get a rejection. That's what normally happens, profit taking. Okay? So what you want to wait for is the trending play would be, where would be the objective for price? And my target has not changed. I am still aiming for at least towards here. So we get this blue box. At the top of the consolidation to the bottom. Okay? Anyway, so I don't think it's over with yet. And I'm going to bring an ES here. We get David macro. This is the key thing about David is the reason why I bring him on is not just my mate. I don't give a fuck if you're my mate or not. I'll bring someone on that brings alpha. This motherfucker brings alpha to the streams. Okay? And look at his past few streams. He's probably one of the best at this kind of shit. Okay? Well, he's one of my go-to anyway for FA. And even if you don't agree with it, at least you got a point of view from somebody else's opinion. I'm gonna go to the trend continuation from here as well in a second. And then after that, we've got some, I don't know. It breaks below here, so mark our objectives. So what I'll do, I'll mark out a zone area. Okay? That's the first target zone. And after that, it's gonna be towards 24.5-ish, below that. If it breaks below here, and this time starts holding, but that's a break and hold below. See this here? This is a deviation. This is clean breakdown, retest, sell off. Breakdown, retest, sell off. Short, target 1, target 2. As soon as target 1 gets hit, stops them to break even, takes them off, leave the rest for target 2. So maybe something like this may happen. But as soon as it breaks below here, you can either add back in. Stops get trailed to whatever the highs that smashed it below, add back in, play towards that. After that, I don't know what happens. I do know what happens, but I think 20k, but let's just go with this for now before people start doing the hard stack. Okay, is everybody clear? And that's what breakup now. Does that make setup? Does that make sense so far? Before I continue. Yes, it does. Of course it does. Why am I even asking that? Okay, done. Now let's move on to what if this is the high? Okay? And I'm getting the vibes off of that kind of, but wherever I feel what the market is are two separate things. Never forget that. The market doesn't give a shit about you either. The market does what it wants. But this here, okay? Simple trend lines sometimes makes it, life so much easier. Okay? What we want to see is breakdown. If it doesn't give me the pull up there, breakdown, break below, short the fucker towards there, target 1, target 2. So that same play that I mentioned from there, like that, well, that's unfolding beforehand in case this is the top. Trigger, target 1. As soon as target 1 gets hit or close enough, if it gets close enough towards here, like the top of this, take your profits. Take some off, stops at break even, risk free straight away. The remaining towards this. So if it bounces here, cut it, wait for the clean break if it believes in to go below. Once it breaks and holds below, short the fucker again, play it towards there. Remember last stream? We played it live, didn't we? And we played that live. Target 1 got hit. And the second play was, what was it? One of the plays from one of the recent weeks. Was it like this, when it wants to go back below? I can't remember, but he played out nicely, didn't it? And those were the same range plays we did. Okay? So all I'm doing is playing level to level. I do not give a fuck about bias. Okay? Where bias has, that's untrue to say I don't give a fuck about bias. I do. But there's a time and place. But does that make sense? That is all. Nothing more to add to it. That's it. Done. Let's move forward on Ethereum. Now, I was probably a bit early on Ethereum, but I thought this would hold. It's come back below that high. I'll take it again. That's not a problem at all. So what we're going to do, I'm going to make a basic play. So often the time is right. If the levels are not clear enough to me for Ethereum, when Bitcoin gives you the trigger, would you all agree, automatically or indirectly, you'll probably have a trigger for Ethereum? Would everybody agree with that? That 870 of you guys here live, and you can't give me like 300 likes. Come on. YouTube algo's going. Okay? Yes, that could swing play a pattern of the lows. Okay, get out. Okay, but macro context still suggests lower. I mean, if I'm going to look at this quarterly, if I'm going to clean this chart up, I mean, do I want to be fighting a monthly chart that's probably suggesting? No, I'm not going to. All jokes aside, if this was a 5-minute chart, I'd think, yeah, I truly believe at least 20k. And often we're probably going to get about a bit of a deviation. I think something like that's going to happen. I mean, a 1 hour chart and a 1 hour swing play ain't going to make that much of a on the fuck on. Okay? And that's it. So sometimes if the Ethereum chart's not very clear, go with the Bitcoin. Bitcoin will give you the green light. Now, I was a bit early. Do you know why I did this? So if you recall, I took a swing short here and I posted live as well. If you're in the Telegram group, you would have got this live. I posted on Twitter as well. Here. This was on a weekend or Friday night. Okay? And I thought it would get trend continuation. I was wrong on this trade. I took the -1 hour hit. No, my account wasn't blown. And I have a stop loss there in case of that happened. Okay? Now, I was wrong. It's done. Now, my analysis remains the same for this. Okay? We don't need to repeat over and over the same shit. But the extreme end is we have retested this. So if we clean this up right now, what's really happening? We've just got to retest here, haven't we? I mean, these stops have not really been taken. I'm not happy with these runs. If this low was run here and then rejection, then that would be a different story for me. Okay? That would be... Igo, are you the guy the fucker I blocked? There's an Igo on Twitter. The son of a bitch I blocked. The same guy, let me know. I'm gonna block you here as well. Yes, I deleted my pistol video. Well, you gotta watch the videos if you don't understand the trigger thing. So, if this was happening now, then I'd say I don't think Ethereum's done. It doesn't make sense to me. But I'm willing to be wrong as well. So I personally think we run at least these lows. Okay? We are retesting SR here. Okay? There. Now, unless it reclaims back above here, I'm be looking to sell rallies. Okay? Same with Bitcoin. Same exact thing with Bitcoin. Does that make sense? So this is why there's nothing really to say to me. It's bearish just yet. Okay? I mean bullish. Yes, small time frame. Yes, you can take longs. I got squeezed them out. This is why people say, "Oh, everybody wants this." Nobody wants shit. We're saying everybody wants long, everybody wants short. Shut the fuck up. Nobody wants that. And even if they do, you're gonna get fucked on your positioning anyway. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same thing again. Look at the weekly. I mean, you can do this. Maybe I should look at a clean chart. Give me a second. You do this. 1 second. Let me get a clean chart out. Is a clean chart with you? Okay, you're the normal IGO. Okay, that's okay. My apologies. I thought you were the dickhead IGO. Or with the egghead that was conceived through the wrong hole. My apologies. So, it doesn't matter. My bad. Let's clean this shit up. Let's do the same thing with Ethereum. I just want to see. I haven't done with Ethereum. Really, because I've got the Bitcoin chart already, I don't really need to do with Ethereum. That's how I normally operate. Let's do the same thing. Give me a second. Let's do the process properly. So everyone of us got this process properly. And nobody can complain then. Okay, yeah. 2023.65. 2023.5 range. And then we get the 96. I've seen loads of charts like mine on Twitter these. Well, no, I don't give a fuck. As long as you're learning, that's all that matters to me. End of the day, comes down to trigger and P&L. If it's benefiting you, happy days. This is the purpose. I don't give a fuck about it. You know, he's copying style. No, nobody's copying anybody. It'll come down to trigger. If you can take the trade and make money, you are your own style, and well done. Congratulations to you. If you're not, oh, 23.98. But if it does benefit you, I'm happy for you guys. Okay, it's the purpose. 23.98. Milk as much as you can. Make your money. Make your financial wealth. Your families, their lives easy. That's all it's about. Okay, that's done. And then we're going to do this. A key level there. Okay, keep that in radar. And this is the thing. So some exchanges has retested that. This is my issue. So if I go to this chart, right, unless I'm looking at it the wrong way. No, it has retested here. So remember, we've already got that retest and that daily there done already. Okay, so do I drive Toyota? I don't even drive, man. I've got a bus pass. Well, videos I'm doing is just like some fake demo simulator. Ferraris. Okay, so let's get back to the point. Same thing with Bitcoin now. This. So long scenario would be I think I've been squeezed out, but if I'm wrong, that's fine. I will take the long. Same as Bitcoin. Wait for that trigger. Long the fucker. Target 1. Target 2. This area is my main target. And then if it reclaims back above here, do the same thing. And I think maybe this area will be a nice target. Okay. So time with Bitcoin, but if you make a smash above here and holds, break above, consolidate above the high, and then hold, then take your long towards there. Now what we can do is use a deviation area. Okay. So what we got here is old man. I use this old age pension about classes. So this and that would be the consolidation towards. Yeah. And we'll see what happens. So let's go down now. And those are the long scenarios. Got those out the way with. And let's get to what I think is going to happen. So, if I'm correct, I'm not guaranteed, but it's actually come back to, where's it come back to? It's come back to the area that wasn't retested. So maybe if I used a wider stop, I would have been better off. Okay, but it's okay. No problem. I'll take the L. You know, it's only 1 L. No biggie. It's a donation to the market. You know, sometimes you milk so much at the market, right? You feel sorry for the market. You know, I'm purposely going to take a loss. I purposely took the loss, obviously. Purposely took a hit for no. Okay, so we got this now. Okay, we're gonna take it below the mid-range support. We come into here, starts breaking down. Now this is a break of 2 trend lines actually. This as well. This is breaking down already. If I was to be aggressive, now somebody asked me about aggressive. That is an aggressive scalp of mine. Play towards this low and here and cut it above here. That's aggressive scalp. I don't talk about aggressive scalps because I'm quick to cut it. Because if it was to reclaim back above this trend line, I'll cut it. So take what you want from that. I'm going to mark out the easy setups only that it gives you time. People that are, I mean, the majority of you aren't full-time traders. You're still learning. Okay? Why is everybody talking about Ferraris here? Should I do a Ferrari stream next time? Next time, I'll stream from my Ferrari. Yeah? Shall we do that? Which one shall we do? Should we do the Aventador? Ferrari? Shall we do the Bentley? Or shall we do from the bus? Where shall we do it from? Okay, so carry on. So if this gives me the trigger, most likely Bitcoin's going to be trigger. Target 1, target 2. Done. Comes into target 1, same exact plan. Break even. If it starts bouncing, it takes some off, starts bouncing further, cut it. Wait for the clean break below. Smash that bitch again. Head down towards here. Main target there, then there. Okay, done. Maybe one day we'll do it. Maybe one day we'll do it. Who knows? And then after that, the breakout plan is going to be ready for us. Okay, mark out the levels. And yes, I don't need to go over these macro. You know, some of these streamers go over fucking 3-hour long sessions. I don't need to do that. My plan, get straight fucking. I know my levels. I smack bang it here, short here, long here. There's my stop. I'm done. There's my top. Why do I need to do a 4-hour stream? The Friday's the 4-8 pistol. Why is keep it everyone asking? The Ventus SVJ. Okay, let's go. Let's carry on. Let's not talk about cards. Okay. So let's carry on from here. The breakdown play, exact same as Bitcoin. Break below, hold below, that breakdown retest. There's a short. Target towards here. Maybe take some up here. And then there. And you're done. After that, 0. Get that, what's that guy's called? That guy's called, that keeper. What's his name again? The guy with the face on. I think this is 0. Somebody give me his name. The old guy that lives in the castle, the American guy that thinks he's Scottish. What's his name? Fuck, forgot his name. Anyways, that's the plan for Ethereum. And we're going to quickly do ES. Dan Pena. Yeah, how can I forget the fucker's name? Or a legend. Dan Pena. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay, this, I do not believe we're done yet. I mean, I'm looking at this. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do NQ and then I'm going to bring David on. Okay? So, I don't believe we're done. Yes, we are getting a stream. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. I don't believe we're done. I do not believe we're done. I do believe we retest around here, at least. I personally think we're in a prolonged bear market. I think it's going to take months and months and months. And that's my opinion. Whether that's true or not, I do not give it makes no difference. I will still trade longs, even if I think it's a bear market. Now, what's capping the downside is this level here. So if we breach this level, what's the next level? Let's mark out level to level, level to level. That's it. Let's mark out levels. There's a level. There's a level there. Okay. Now, this initially is the initial low for the year. So at first, that was 2022 high. That was the first low form for the year. Okay. And we've retested that. So we're pushing up right now. As long as we don't reclaim this, any pullbacks is bearishness, isn't it? Can everybody understand that? This is SR. Full on SR retest. Right? Here. Support. Massive support. Look at the bounce we had. And this is a retest sell-off. So we'd assume this may be a lower high or a swing failure at worst case for bears. Okay? If we reclaim that, game off for bears, let's squeeze the son of a bitch towards here. Above here, I'll be looking for longs. Towards here at least, maybe there. Then I can say, okay, you know what? Maybe a low is in. I don't, even if the low is not in, maybe a bear market rally. But it's got to be above here for me to take longs. Now, yes, you can take short-term longs, that's fine. I'm not saying you can't. But can you understand why below this level, I remain bearish, selling rips until proven otherwise? Yep. Yes, you can trade FX on Prime XBT. Yes. Use my link, by the way. Use the promo code, man. Show some support. Okay, so let's go down to business now. Trigger plans. The question is, how high does it trigger? How high is it? How long is a piece of string? Question. What we're gonna do? We're gonna get this. It's a nice SR level, flip level, right there, right now. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, where's my trigger plan? So I'm gonna go with a conservative plan. Okay. And this is more towards Bitcoin as well. So if this starts fucking up, falling, Bitcoin's gonna fall. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this. And we'll get this as well. So this. Oh, your mom's kids. Oh, okay. So I don't know. I'm gonna wait for the deviation. Okay. If this is the top, which God willing it is. That sounds evil, doesn't it? God. Who cares? What the fuck? what I'll be looking for is a simple plan. Well, okay, maybe rip higher. I don't care whether it does or not, or whether it comes from here. Again, it doesn't make a difference to me. Once it does this, breaks below and holds below, there's game over. That's my short. Target 1, and then target 2 towards here. And extended targets there. But that's my main target. Target 1, target 2, target 3. And how do I play target 3? Say if it comes here, swings fails, break above, enter the fucker again, smash it towards there. And that is it. So if this starts breaking down, you've got the confluence with that to short Bitcoin as well, and we're done. And that is it. Okay. Finally, now you know what, fuck it, don't need to do anything. David Bell. Is everybody clear with the plan? Let's message David Bell. And so everybody clear with the plan? Yep. No, I usually enter market. I really sometimes I learned out limit orders if I've got a clear violation. I mean, even with Ethereum shorts, right? I kind of milked it. If you think about it, if you've been following me, how many Ethereum shorts did I take? I took 1 from here, took some off, rest start break even. I took 1 here, I took 1 there. I took 4 Ethereum shorts before I got stopped out on the 5th. 4 Ethereum shorts, stopped out on the 5th. The 5th one is the one I'm labeled as. You can't make this shit up. 4 Ethereum winners. The 5th one I got stopped out on. Fucking hell. Yeah. Hi David, can you hear me?
Hello mate, how you doing? You alright?
Yeah. Everybody, David's not well, okay? He's got a croaky, he's losing his voice, so be patient with him. You know what, he's come on while he's a sick man, okay? So you know what, gotta give full respect to that. I'm gonna make a presenter. Just go as long as you can. If you're not feeling well, I'm gonna bring you in when you're feeling better, okay? If you need to go at any moment,
I didn't even know my voice sounded this bad till I started talking.
Mate, if you need to go, it's fine. We can do another time. You sound awful, mate. I feel bad bringing you on now, man.
Really bad.
You wanna go?
I'll try and get through it as best I can.
Okay, you know what, guys? Bear with David Bell. He'll do as best as he can. He's not well. If you can't hear him, well, you know what? That's your problem. But you know what? He's coming on. You really are the Grim Reaper, mate. Fucking post you, your fucking market drops. But yeah, I've given you presenter, so you want to share your screen? I'm gonna let you take over, mate.
Alright, mate, nice one. Hiya, guys. Yeah, sorry about the voice. I've been throwing up for the last 2 days, so yeah, it's been really, really bad. But, God, I sound awful. The reason why I really wanted to talk about this today is normally like I come on and like everything's really bearish and crap basically, but I think it's important to be balanced at the same time. You know, I think the way that we've seen this market change over the last, say, 6 months is as interest rates have started to get priced in more and more, and you can see that by the orange line, which is Euro-dollar futures, which is basically short-term interest rates and how the market prices in interest rate hikes or cuts. You can see that for each time the market starts to price in hikes, a little bit after Bitcoin tends to fall off. You can see it all the way through. So here, for example, you can see it occur again, you know, when we had the more recent hikes. So what I'm expecting to happen leading up to the most recent FOMC, which is on June the 14th to 15th, is actually nothing. Like I'm not really expecting the market to push to the downside, not really expecting it to push to the upside a huge amount. Let me just take this off a second. Now, if we look at it technically, the upper limit for me here on Bitcoin is probably about 34.5K to the upside before the 14th to 15th of June, which is when we're expecting a 50 basis points hike, right? So really that's kind of the way that I'm looking at the market. You know, downside is actually quite limited. We can see that here. We can see that 1, 2, 3, and we're holding up again at about 30-ish K, 28, 30, 30-ish K. And so what that means to me is that because we're now getting this hold up and we are in this different regime of higher rates impacting the Bitcoin price negatively, we're seeing more of a sort of a hold up here, right? So what does that mean to me? Well, for an impetus to the downside, we have to wait for the Fed to act and do something. Bitcoin is very, very sensitive. Jesus Christ, very, very sensitive to interest rates right now, as it always has been. But in a market where there has been less interest rate risk, even the worst news can be shaken off, right? When the market is in a low interest rate regime, bad news can be shaken off. In a higher and increasing interest rate regime, it can't. But to back up my point here about about the market sort of remaining a bit muted, maybe with some upside potential, is if we look at the VIX. Now, this is more of a conceptual type thing. So let me just get another chart up as well. Let me get what was I going to get up? Bitcoin. So if we get this up, okay. That's not the same chart. God, I'm going crazy. I think I've got a fever. It's ridiculous. No one get this norovirus shit. It's horrible. Basically, what I'm looking at here is, sorry, no, I meant ES. So the VIX is basically the volatility derivative of the ES, right? And what you can see on the ES is that we've had considerable big down days. Now, ask yourself this. Do you expect at this moment in time for the ES to have as great sized down days as we have had already? Now, I don't think we will, which is probably why volatility is being sold off in the short term. Even though we had that pretty violent week last week, we didn't have as violent a week as previous weeks. So this is another reason as to why I think Bitcoin isn't going to see, a dramatic fall until we get that furthering of that macro regime shift, which is higher interest rates. Now, there's something else that I want to point out as well, is this memo from Howard Marks from last year, which is called Thinking About Macro. Let me just switch to, can you see this screen actually?
Yep, all clear, mate.
Yeah, okay. So it's this bit.
We're seeing the VIX chart and the S&P chart, sorry.
Ah, right, okay. How do I switch over to this new one?
Just that share screen thing, you can switch it over or bring it onto.
Okay. Right, let me try again with a different one. I'm going to try share this tab. Here we go. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Right, can you see that?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. So when I'm talking about regime, it's really this big bit that I'm talking about. Okay. So basically at the moment, and this very last line here, asset prices are reasonable relative to interest rates. Now, I know this is about, equities and bond yields, but it's got a very, very similar sort of conceptual idea, if you like to call it that, with Bitcoin as well. Because what we've seen all the way through, I can't share it back because it will just be long, but if you've got a Bitcoin chart in front of you, then it will make sense. But what we've seen is that, all the way through, we've seen Bitcoin show the interest rate pricing in. But now what we need for another leg down is for, interest rates to increase again to make the current price of Bitcoin not reasonable relative to interest rates. Does that make sense? Sorry about the voice.
No worries, mate.
So So what I'm really thinking is that we're now going to start seeing, rather than just the pricing in of interest rates, what we're going to start seeing is the real world effects of interest rates on balance sheet composition, on you know the real effects on how debt works and all of these kind of things. And I'll be paying considerable attention to MicroStrategy, for example. I think it was possibly one of the dumbest things they could have done to say when they were going to get a margin call, which I think was at like about 24K, right? Because we've seen what's happened with the likes of Terra. Okay, it's nowhere near the same market cap, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some bad actor out there to try and just take
Easy money,
MicroStrategy
isn't it?
down.
Easy money for the taking.
I know, honestly, it's so dumb to reveal that strike price. And it's one of these things where, in a world of increasing interest rates, I always say it's where the opaque comes to light. Everyone was happy, for example, when Luna was going up. Everyone was, unconcerned about the UST peg and how it worked when interest rates were low. It's when interest rates go up and interest rates start really affecting things, and you don't get that easy money, you start creating panic because opportunity cost of certain asset prices is changing. That's really when things start to kind of become unraveled. So I think it's really important to pay attention to these little sort of idiosyncrasies and look at where big players have literally put their stop loss. 24K is Saylor's stop loss here. Of course, he can recollateralize himself and add margin and stuff like that. But shouting out numbers like that isn't at the benefit of MicroStrategy shareholders nor himself. I don't think. I think it's really dumb. But I think the main focus is, don't try and chop yourself up over these next 2 or 3 weeks into the FOMC, and focus really on, how the market behaves at that 28K level from a macro perspective. Does the Bitcoin price sort of absorb this interest rate risk now, or does it plummet through it? I think the latter will happen, which to an extent is good because it allows for obviously a lower price to be bought in at. And it also allows for smarter players to have, taken on board the fact that the market is very much an interest rate sensitive market, rather than these other silly narratives that people like to put around. It's another asset, of course, it has different utilities. But at the end of the day, all risk assets are susceptible to interest rate risk. And I think that's definitely something that many people have to just take on board and accept.
Look. Still there,
I
mate?
can't talk anymore.
Mate,
My throat's
thank you
gonna
very
die.
much. But you know what? I'm gonna bring you on again. When you're feeling better, you let me know whenever dates. You get first pick.
Yeah, mate.
And before you go,
I
I
can
mean,
do it.
do you just bring up your website? And I think a lot of people do benefit from this kind of stuff. So if you want to bring on the right screen, David runs. I'm gonna do it for him. David runs Macrodesiac, and he's one of my guys for FA. I mean, you guys know that, but he's probably the most regular guy I bring on, and everybody here knows what he's about. So when he's better, I mean, you guys can DM him. And any closing thoughts? You got any couple of words left in you, or you can cut it off here. Check him out.
Yeah, just I think in the short term, the risk is actually skewed to the upside. Uh, but at the same time, there's there's not that great a risk to reward. So at times you just have to say that cash is king, and being flat is probably the best position to be in, especially if you tend to lean towards using leverage. Just don't.
Thank you very much, David. So everybody go to macrodesiac.com. David will post a link. David normally does, right? He posts a link.
Yeah.
So for those that are
It's
interested,
on my pin. It's on my pin tweet if
on
you
his
want to
pin
join
tweet,
us.
and you know what, we're gonna bring you on again once you're much better, and we're gonna send this shit
Yeah,
to
mate.
20k.
Wicked, mate.
Thank you for coming on, and hope you get well soon.
Alright,
Give David a follow. His Twitter handle is in the title of this video, and we'll bring you again soon, mate. Take care. All the best, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Okay. So give David a follow. You know what? I appreciate him coming on. You know, he's not feeling well, but he still came on, tried his best. You know, I got fair play to the man. You can't respect him any more than that. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna do dollar index, and we're gonna call it a day. So I mean, I don't know why you guys want to go over dollar index, but you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. So where's my Dixie chart? I had a Dixie chart here somewhere here. Okay. Now I did go over my Dixie plan before. Now, if we look at this, let's go over it from a simplistic chart point of view. Okay. Now, if we go to the weekly, perhaps where my line in the sand is quite simple. Okay, I'm bullish the dollar. Now, we may be getting some sort of relief right now, which is fine. Okay, maybe heading to the FOMC's month end, etc. You know, profit taking, portfolio reshuffling, this, that, the other. Maybe some equities a bit higher. Maybe Bitcoin takes a bounce. Who knows? But plan remains the same. This is my line in the sand, and I will be targeting towards here the dollar index. Okay, so 2 trigger plans. One is, okay, for trying to continue. Oopsie daisy. We got this. We got there. So one is dollar index coming towards here, deviates back above. That means long shorts on the FX majors, and that's your long towards here. Now, yes, there's some sort of correlation still going on between dollar index and Bitcoin, but overall, I mean, this is just for those players that are playing the dollar on its own, because Prime XBT, we do trade FX as well. That's towards there. And then, or if it goes up above here, or after that happens, that's your long trigger, break above, consolidate above, which means it's acceptable for me. And that's my long towards here. If it smashes below here, then we'll reconsider and maybe I'll move back deeper into the range. And the range is here. Okay? And that is it. Okay? So, hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope you got some value out of that. Use the link in the description. Use promo code TraderSZ. Support the stream. Give David Bell a follow. Big man came on. He wasn't feeling well. You could tell from his voice. Can't make this shit up. I'll catch you guys next week. Bye bye.